So, hi guys, today I will be talking about how to prepare for the discrete maths. Now, why you should prepare for the discrete maths? See, it's a foundation of the CS in perspective of GATE also and in general also, right? It's the heart. Now the thing is that in discrete maths you will have combinatories and the graph theory, and while solving the problem these are the concepts which will be used multiple times in other subjects also. For understanding C, you are having the in computer networks you will be having the routing algorithms. Those are based on what? Graphs, spanning trees, right? And it will be there in the discrete maths also in the section graph theory, right? Now you may want to solve multiple questions in DBMS related to the possible ordering of the schedules. Now there you will have topological orders, so you required graph knowledge, right? And now to tackle the problem furthermore you will need the combinatories in order to answer how many topological sequences are possible. So what happened? Their combinatories entered, right? And graph theory also. So that's why it's the heart of the computer gate CS, right? Now I know many people who had prepared only discrete maths and DS and ignored the system subject. Then they ended up in a difficult situation. I also know the people who had ignored the discrete math and prepared other subject very well, but they also ended up in trouble. So what's my advice is that please prepare the discrete maths thoroughly. Also keep that in mind that do not tend to devote much of a time to the discrete maths, right? In the week it should not happen that in the entire week you are preparing just the discrete maths only. No, that should not be the case. And it should not also happen that in the entire week you ignored the discrete maths completely, right? So keep this thing in mind. You don't have to overdo it, but you also don't have to underdo it. It's hard. You will have to have a good understanding of discrete maths, right? It's needed, pretty much needed. Now the weightage of the discrete maths is around 10 to 12%, means you can expect the 10 to 12 marks from the discrete maths, right? But these are the direct math marks of the discrete maths. It's involved indirectly in many subjects, so it will have effect there also, right? So keep that thing in mind. And if you append the calculus and the linear algebra, the weightage will be 15%. Now this is not something to be taken lightly, right? 15% is huge, and also it's going to affect your other subjects, right? So please keep this thing in mind. You have to prepare the discrete maths thoroughly. Now books to follow. See, whenever I'm telling you the books to follow, please, i am I am saying those because I have read those books multiple times. The nursing dev I had read almost like what 15 to 20 times, because whenever I read I think about the theorem and I get a new insight. If I am solving Kenneth Rosen combinatorics problem, I'll get a new insight, right? So trust me, whenever I am recommending the book, these are the ones which I had used and personally, and these are the some of the best books I know for that particular section. So in graph theory you will having nursing there. Now how to solve the nursing there or how to read the nursing there is just go through the chapter, read the theorem, don't try to read the proof. Leave it there and try to feel how you can prove that thing, or try to get intuition behind that theorem, because it will help you a lot. Because in discrete maths, if it may happen in graph theory that you might get a theoretical question, now at that point of time you will need a good intuition behind the theorems which is being asked in the question. Otherwise it will be very difficult to answer the question. See, to answer the question you will be having two choices in that case. Either you should be thorough with the intuition behind the theorem, or you need to build the example and counter example for each of the option, and it's very time consuming, believe me. Now the next one is the group theory. Actually it belongs to the set theory and algebra. It's a smaller section over there. But for the group theory, Tremblay Manover is the book, right? There you can find the definition for each and every topic related to group theory like ring, field. These are the some of the topics which gate may not touch, but these are some of the important topics, and you should be aware about their definitions. And for the rest of the stuff like the logic and the combinatories, you can always go with the Kenneth Rosen to solve the numericals and to learn, right? Now online resources are these two YouTube channels. Now let's talk about the topics. The first one is the graph theory. Now in graph theory, you will be having multiple things like the chromatic number or the handshaking theorem or the properties of the MST and all. Please go through the nursing though. If you have time, please go through them. Go through the book because it will cover almost each and everything related to graph theory, and you will be extremely clear about that subject. See, graph theory is something which you will encounter after your gate in each and every field. Means most of the time there will be something related to graph theory where you will need the knowledge of the graph theory. Whether you are doing competitive coding or doing any project, you will need the understanding of the graph theory. So please do it thoroughly. For the reference, as I told, Nassing Dev is the book. Now next comes the set theory and algebra. Uh, Here you will have many properties like reflexive, symmetric, transitive, antisymmetric, asymmetric, irreflexive. These are the types of properties that you will have to study. And here also the set theory is there. So set, subset, power set, cardinality, these types of things. Again, the union, intersection, it's also included in this. And the one of the most important is the functions, right? Number of functions, inverse function, or one to one on two functions. So please be thorough with that. What happened is that even in the gate there was a question in gate 2021 related to the functions, and even though I was extremely good in combinatories, what happened is that I constructed a new formula which were right. It was giving answer, exact answer, and it was correct. But what I did mistake is that I input the wrong value. The questions asked something for a different value, and I ended up inputting the different value. So even though I was right with the formula which I constructed at the point of exam itself, but I ended up entering the wrong values. So at such a time, only your patience and practice comes to your help. So please be thorough with the discrete maths. Practice as much new questions as you can, because it helps to widen your scope. And once you covered a lot of types of question, then you won't get many surprises in the gate exam. You may get few surprises, but not that much. Also, in while doing the combinatories, please try to get the intuition. Means, to be frank, till 12th, I used to think only aliens can solve the combinatorics things, because I never had a guts to do that. But while in during the gate preparation, when I was preparing with the 2020 batch, then I started realizing how this actually works, how what's the intuition behind it. Try to understand the basic things like why the multiplication theorem, or why the additive theorem, why it's working, how it's working. Because unless and until you don't try to understand them, you won't get a much of a better idea for the next topics, right? I will try to make few videos regarding how to develop a good intuition for the combinatories. And see, the career blaze is the website which you can use for the combinatories. Let me show you. uh, for permutation and combination. So see, this is the website where you can learn all the things related to permutation and combinatories. Just go to the formulas, understand them, what they are trying to say, and once you understood them, please try to solve the question. Just understanding the theorems, it's not gonna help you much. You will have to be aware and understand where to use it. Like, see, this is the most important chart, I would say. You need to map the question to this chart if you want to answer it correctly regarding to the combinatories. But it doesn't mean that you will have to by heart this chart. No, that won't help. You will have to understand this chart. Okay, so it's very very important for you to do that, because once you did it, then the combinatories is like something which you own and you can use at any time. Okay. And please don't give up in the preparation. It might happen that some days you might experience frustration, but it's fine. That's the part of the journey. I hope you all are doing well today, and thank you guys.